Hey guys, it's you by Joel. My name is Skylar, and we're gonna do
earrings
with
polymer clay
clay
canes.
canes.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello everyone, this is Joel's by Jude, and these are some of my products, or I should say my pendants that I made. And I want to show you Joel's by Jude 1. That's eBay. I'll get something better put up for that, and I'll show it again. And I'll show these again. I want to talk about Jilly. Jilly is a woman that I bought these cutters from on her Etsy store. Found her by mistake, so to speak. Mispronounced her name, and I would say that she told me a couple of suggestions on how to use her cutters properly. And that's great. Believe me, that is great. And I will be taking those suggestions in the future. One of my issues is that I like to use a lot of clay. A lot of thickness in my clay, and I'm tossing that around now, and I'm a beginner, so I'm always want suggestions, guys, and I'll do my best to utilize them. So Jilly, I apologize for the name, not pronouncing your name properly, and if I did any injustice to your cutters at all, I apologize for that as well, because I enjoy them and I love them, and I'm using them. So thank you. I plan on buying more, and I hope that everybody that sees my videos, if they're doing polymer clay, get to check out your items on Etsy. It's done in a timely manner, very polite and professional. So thank you for that. And thank you for a great quality cutter that made a terrific pendant for my friend. That said, I'd like to move on to these beauties here. These are, I do a tree of life, and I don't have that example, and I think I might show you that before I show you a tutorial on this. I do a tree of life in wire, and it's a very common one, and I've been doing it for years. So I usually use a pendant, or I'm sorry, a cabochon of a stone of my choice. And I use either sterling silver or copper wire, and I do a tree of life. These little babies are a stencil with a cutter that came from RJ Crafts, and they reminded me of my tree of life. Now, if I may get a closer view for you later on in the video, but this is actually the shape of a woman, and this looks like her head and her arms and her legs. That's what it looks like to me. I'm almost positive that they meant that to be that. If not, then I'm the only one that's seeing it. Okay. But I love them. Now, interesting enough, I think they're all beautiful to me. You know, I think they're like our children. No, not really, but you know what I'm saying. They mean a lot to us. And this has some Swarovski crystals in it. Okay, this was a mistake, and I think it's a beautiful mistake. When I lifted the stencil, I had too much paint left on it, and it pulled. And when it did, it created this pulling effect, and it kills me, but I will sell it on eBay, or I'll have it up for sale on eBay. So anyhow, I wanted you to see some of my finished pieces, because some of these videos as you're doing them take a long time, and some people lose interest quite quickly, and I'm one of them. So now, this is what we're going to do today, a form of this. These are earrings that I created out of my cane. This cane. Still working on that cane. And this is the black. This time I would intentionally let the black come through. as you can see, I drilled a hole at the top and put my earring in there. See if you can see that like that. And I did the same with the other. They're not very heavy, and I think they look quite nice. So that's what we're going to do today. Only I'm going to use a different cane that I made, and that's going to come out like that. So we'll see how nicely they come out, because it is kind of dark. It's a dark thing going on there. So sorry about that. I had my cutter in a different location now. I had everything here, honest to gosh. I had everything here a moment ago. All right. So this is really not this difficult. I'm going to bake it, and I'll likely show you the end result, which will look a lot like this. Okay, so let's see here. We'll move this out, everything out of our way. Now let's cut. Let's talk about this. I'm keeping this portion of the clay cane that I made out of Kato. And if you don't know how to make canes, there's about 1 million people on YouTube making them, including myself. And I'll probably throw in making a cane here or there in the future, especially when I start to learn how to make different canes, because right now I'm focused on something very similar to what you see in the last 2 or 3 videos of mine. I can do different things, I can make them different sizes, and I am going to stick with this type of how I put them on here, which is I wouldn't say a flower, but something very, very close to that. I'm limited on my colors with the Kato because of my inability to get it anywhere else other than Hobby Lobby in my area. I have to order it. So I can and will do that. But I've been using up my bright and brilliant colors on different projects that I've been showing you. And I don't know if I want to use that much black. See, I would have probably put this on a brighter background than black, but we're going to go with it and see how it goes and hope it turns out as beautifully as the ones previous to this. And it won't be as bright, I don't believe. And I'm saying that a lot, so I apologize. Let's get this out of here. I don't want this one in here. It's too thin. That's why I removed it. I like the function, you know, for it to function properly. And some of them are a little too small. Or you could say some of them are too big, so whichever the case might be, I'm going to push them in like that. Now, if I can get these apart, I'll use this one. Now I just want to use leave enough space to make myself more. At least 2 more. What am I at here? There we go. Okay, move it up a little bit. I need some more slices. And when you're slicing, you try to get these slices as close to their size, you know, equal size as possible. It works out better for you in the long run. It will not, when your clay begins to, I roll it out, so when it begins to get flatter, it does not distort too much. Okay, so I did the same thing there, so I'm going to move this over here. And I'm not really trying to create a flower, because if I were, I would not be doing it this way. So don't misunderstand my intention here. It's just a design is all this is. It's not a flower. If I were to, and I might in the future, there would be some differences in placement, size, and also there'd be something a little different in the center. Okay, so this is really just a design pattern that I have chosen to use with my cane, and that's the whole object of having a cane, that you could use the way you like it. Okay, so in my other project of earrings, I'm trying to feel, yeah, that one feels good. When you reach the edge, you just make it look like it's been cut off. You know, the pattern stops there, kind of. And I'm just trying to focus on. I wish I had brighter colors on this. I really should take the time to go up to Hobby Lobby and get some new colors, but they still only have so many colors, so I may have to order some online. Break down and do it. I know, I'm cheap, cheap, cheap! Cheap! Alright. I'm using my eyes here. And what I might do there is, see how I place that in off the edge? That is what, you know, you're going to want it to look like. I think I have enough for 2 earrings, so I'm going to stop there. If not, I will reapply. So what I'll do now is, see how I cut that off at the edge there? I don't think you have to, but I do, just because I feel like it's a more professional cut. Plus I know exactly where my cutters are going to have to meet this pattern. And this is not going to have a matching. Well, it might. Depends on how well it goes. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my trusty Wish acrylic roller that is thinner and lighter than the others that you buy at Michael's. And I am going to press my veneer down into the clay, which was, by the way, this was rolled out. This black piece, my base, was, on my machine, it was a number 9, which is the thickest. And I did not double it up, because I have been having a problem with some of my cutters, even my metal ones, going through the clay, because I have this kick about having a very thick pendant or earrings. And so I think I learned my lesson on 1 or 2 of them. So we will not do that again. I think that looks pretty cool, actually. So what I used before for these earrings is this here, I think. Was that? Yeah, because I do have different size cutters. So I would want to get this in and this in. And the thing about it is, you could probably do beads. Yeah, I definitely think I want to do that. And then I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm going to go for this over here now. And it's going to be a lot like the way I want it to be. I'm pressing that in. Now, as you see, I have been working on small tiles. I don't know what the difference would be for y'all, but there they are. So they, you know, I think I'd like a little bit more brightness in the clay. So I'll try that the next time. hopefully. But I'm going to bake these, and then I will show you them after they've been baked. And I'll probably drill a hole. I don't know if I'll have the same. These are kind of thin. These look even thinner. And I think that's because my veneer was thicker. That's why they're thicker. But I kind of like this. I think I might want to make a pendant that goes with that too. If I do, you'll see it. I'm going to put them in the oven now, and we'll go from there. Okay, everybody, I'm back. These are a little dark, but I still like them. I might put resin on them to brighten them up. If you see them, I'll take a shot of everything. Be the last part of the video, so you can see all the details in it. But here, let me show you. I did decide to do a look. It's a pendant, and it's not put together like the beads, but you can do that. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I'll probably, what I will do is show you that I need to sand the sides like most people do, and you try to limit that by using a proper cutter or plastic wrap, or there's a deli wrap, I think some of them call it, you know, stuff like that. I haven't had many problems with most of my cutters, just a few. And I'm sanding it down now. And I'm not really sure whether or not I will be putting on any resin. If I put on the resin, I think the colors will be brought out a lot more, and they'll look a lot better. Or like, I don't know. I just think they'll be brighter. You can see where some of my creases in there and everything are. But I am going to show you. What I will show you is that, well, first of all, I can make that decision. It doesn't have to be made tonight. So I'll show you how I drill a hole in it and made it an earring. Well, these will be made an earring. And usually when I'm doing my filing, I usually go in one direction. So, where's my drill? There it is. So what I'll generally do at this point is take the drill down to where I think, you know, I have smaller bits, but the hole has to be big enough. So, but this, since I've gotten the new drill that I've been using, it's been working out great for me. And this is thicker. Wow, that's already through. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go all the way through. I've showed you this before. And then I'm going to back it out the same way, because if you yank it out, you're going to probably destroy part of your pendant or earring. And I may not be able to, I'll put these, I'll tell you what did come out really well with this is the fact that they look a lot alike. There is, the designs in this pattern came out very similar. I'm a little impressed with how similar they came out. So I want to approximate about the same distance as I did, and I haven't seen too many of y'all measure where you put your hole at on these pendants and stuff, but I reckon when you do the earrings you want to be pretty sure about a couple of things. So, and one of them is the thickness and the placement. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to back this back out. I'm going to show you the thickness difference, and that's why I'm going to have to probably hold on getting the loop to fit, but I'll show you where it will fit through. These could be mini pendants if you so chose it to be. Actually, this might be thinner. I didn't intentionally do that. I know you guys probably think I did because I love this thickness of the my pendants. I like to have thick. So with the Kato clay, though, I have found truly that it is a hard clay. So I'm learning, and it might be, user error, but you're seeing the real deal. What's that mean? That everybody else is fake? Absolutely not. You're just seeing a person. Now, I am used to working with other material. You know that, from rocks to wire wrapping to resin. I fuse glass, domino art, which it requires a lot of embossing, a little bit of chain making, and this thing's not, you wouldn't know it from this, but I really hurried up and made this. However, the point is, yes, I do have a little bit of experience behind me in other areas, but not in polymer clay. Is one of those ones I just chose to pick up and start learning. I can teach what I learn, and I do teach what I learn. And then I have, it's funny thing is, when we teach our classes, everybody has something like really very different, and I encourage that so much. It's really phenomenal to watch, because you have different people in the same room seeing the same thing done, coming out with different results. So our point really isn't to mimic or mock or another person's piece of art exactly. So I love it when it comes out different. I did a tree of life, as I said earlier, and when I did my trees, I did them one way. That's it. But I did it the most basic way, and when I taught and when I do teach that class, I tell them to come up with something different, and they have come up with such beautiful, beautiful trees of life, and I just love watching them do it. They have so many different things that they added to it or subtracted to it, so I love watching that. And I have to say that, I don't know what a professional is, but I'm an artist, and I enjoy it. And I love art. I'm just surrounded by natural beauty and art, and I love it. So, that said, these are cooked. All you really going to do is put a jump ring through it, or an earring loop through it, or make it a pendant of some kind. But they came out spectacularly similar, and I love that about them. If you see this up here, this area here is all approximately the same, yet this is totally put together by a whole nother piece of clay. Same cane, but different clay. So interesting, very interesting. And I think the resin in this instance might do this more justice. So what I'm going to do is pause the tape. Hey everybody, as promised, I'm going to give you a little bit of a closer shot of some of the pieces that we either talked about or made tonight, okay? So this is the piece that we made today. Whoops. There we go. And this is the pendant that went with that. Okay. This is a piece of Polymer clay from Kato. All the clay I've been using recently is Kato from my cane, and this will be on the internet for $10. And this is Jilly's cutter I used to make this. No resin will be on there. These are my earrings that I made with that same cane. The background is a little bit different, and the veneer was placed on there a little different as well. Silk screen and cutter set. Okay, and it's Jewels by Jude. So if you like the video, please like it, share it, and subscribe. Thank you, and God bless.